This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So, you feel so stressed and anxious when studying until you feel like crying. And when crying didn't do anything, you open YouTube to procrastinate and now here you are. Same. Hey besties, why do we have so much work, right? We are doing things all the time and yet we feel like nothing is getting done. I used to often feel crippled by stress from exams and the fear of disappointment from my parents if I don't get good results. But here are some really real and honest ways to help you cope with all that stress and anxiousness. The most important thing for you to understand is that we get overwhelmed by incomplete work. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, we remember interrupted tasks around 90% better than completed tasks. That's why, before an exam, you can still remember everything in the syllabus, but once exam finishes, you seem to forget everything just like that. That's because after an exam, your brain does not have any use for all that information anymore, so it starts to forget it. But before an exam, your brain just keeps reminding you that you have an exam coming up. That's why you get this nagging feeling of stress and anxiousness. Another example is, you know how right before the exam, we're trying to remember every single thing, but then suddenly you forget this really important fact. So you try to run over to your textbook to try to find the answer, but then your teacher says it's time to sit down and prepare for the test. And then when you sit down, you're so stressed and you can't think of anything else other than the fact that you forgot that one fact. That happens because when you don't finish a task or you don't have an answer to a question, our brains just aren't satisfied. So it just keeps trying to remind you to finish it. So that's why the first step that we have to do is to finish all our incomplete work. If you have a half-written essay, a half-finished project, or incomplete homework, get those done first. Because the more incomplete work you have, the more you're gonna have this anxious feeling that you have so much to do and yet nothing is completed. There's also something called the 2-minute rule. Basically, it just means that if something can be done in under 2 minutes, do it now. Like replying that one email or writing your to-do list for the day. It is just another way to get all those little annoying tasks out of the way. But before we continue, let's talk about my study templates and Squarespace. So as you guys know, I'm currently working on redesigning the study templates and to-do lists that I gave away to you guys up until about February of this year. I need a beautiful yet practical website that you guys will love, and Squarespace can do just that. It's literally so easy to create a website for your online store, your blog, your portfolio, and so much more. They'll just ask you a few simple questions and then you'll have so many professional yet fully customizable templates to choose from. You don't even need any experience in web design in order to create your own website. You can also share your content on other social media platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn in order to maximize your reach. So, if you're ready to create your own website, go to squarespace.com for a free trial or go to squarespace.com/fayfilms in order to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Next, try to set realistic goals and to-do lists. When we write down our to-do list, we are often imagining the best, most productive day ever. But are we really going to wake up at 8 a.m., finish all our homework before lunch, and finish studying chemistry before the day ends? Probably not. So what I do is that every time I make my to-do list, I imagine the best day ever, the most productive day I can ever have, and then I take 2 or 3 things off that to-do list. Because not finishing your to-do list is just gonna make you more stressed and demotivated. I actually made this mistake in semester 1 of university where I had written down everything I needed to do for that week, but I ended up having a breakdown because I couldn't finish all of them. Having said that, it is important that you plan your day out and don't do as you go. At the end of each day, write down every single thing you want to complete the next day so that when you wake up, you know exactly what you need to do. The more you plan, the less decisions you have to make on the spot, which is less worrying that you have to do. You can try planning out your entire week, but that might overwhelm some people. Next, you have to accept the worst possible outcome even if you don't like it. So you don't study the last 3 chapters of biology. What's the worst that could happen, right? Okay, an essay question comes out on that topic and you score a 0 for it. Mentally preparing yourself for that outcome means that if it really happens, it's not a surprise. Nothing is worse and more disappointing than if you expected an A and ended up failing that subject because it was unexpected. So expecting the worst would mean that everything better than that is an improvement. Also, it helps keep the pressure off yourself, right? If you keep telling yourself that you need an A or you want an A, you're probably gonna stress yourself so much during preparation that you end up doing worse. Next, know your study style and don't compare it to others. I mentioned before that I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning back in secondary school because I was too busy with co-curricular activities at night, so I had to study in the morning instead. But just because I find waking up at 4 a.m. effective doesn't mean that you will find it effective. If you just don't have the energy or the mood to study so early in the morning, then study at night. If you don't find that doing notes are effective, then don't do notes. I find that I'm more creative at night, so if I want to paint or edit a video, I will adjust my time and stay up late. Also, just cause your friends study for 8 hours a day doesn't mean that you have to as well. Find your own study methods, your own timetable, and stick to it. Comparing yourself to your friends all the time is just gonna make you more stressed and not help you at all. Next, try to be consistent and do not wait till the last minute. Why are we so stressed? We're so stressed because we're treating an exam like a 100-meter sprint when it's supposed to be a marathon. Bestie, you need to hear this. If you keep cramming everything till the last minute, you're going to have to sprint for a few days, and we just don't have the energy to cope with that. If you ask me when I start preparing for exams, I can't really answer that question. I try my best to do homework and assignments as they are given to me. So throughout the semester, I'm doing a little bit of work every single day, and when exam comes, I'll just sprint for a little bit and then that's it. So tell yourself to do some revision when you're free or do a chapter of notes every single week, because trust me, you're gonna be a lot less stressed and anxious when exam really comes. The more prepared you are, the less you will worry about not doing well. Next, don't make your life revolve around school. I know the education system sucks in the sense where work and life balance does not seem to exist for us anymore. But still, try to do something every single day that is unrelated to school to try to relax yourself. For me, I nap or play with my dog when I'm stressed. Taking a break is not wasting time. Don't feel guilty about it. And no, scrolling on TikTok at your study table is not a form of rest. Never ever rest at a place where you're supposed to be productive, because you want your brain to automatically go into work mode when you enter that space. That is also why you can't fully relax when you're at your study table, because that's a place where you're supposed to be working. If you've made it this far, comment down below if you're always stressed or anxious about school, and I'd be sure to reply you. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and also click on the notification bell and set it to all so that you do not miss out on any future uploads. And thank you all for 100,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing, and I'm so grateful, and I'm planning something really special for all of you, so stay tuned for that. I will keep you updated. Bye bye.